Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is my pioneer project to feature Chinese aesthetics. I chose to start with the Song Dynasty because it is my favorite. There's something about its quiet elegance, its restraint, and its deep appreciation for the natural world that I found incredibly inspiring. Today, we are exploring the Song Dynasty, the original Minimalists. Just a quick note, this content is designed for an international audience, especially those who may be new to Chinese aesthetics. If you're already familiar with Chinese history, some of this may feel like a refresher, but I hope you will still find the visual journey and modern connections inspiring. So let's go on a journey back in time, 1,000 years, to explore how the Song Dynasty perfected the art of restraint, natural beauty, and mindful living. The Song Dynasty may not have been the most powerful dynasty in Chinese history in terms of military, but it was, without question, one of the most culturally and artistically brilliant. It was an era where beauty, refinement, and intellectual pursuit were elevated to the highest ideas of society. What if the minimalist design you love, the clean lines, the natural materials, the quiet elegance was invented 1,000 years ago? The Song Dynasty ruled China over 3 centuries. It's often referred to by scholars as the Oriental Renaissance, an era where people already understood that less is more. 1,000 years before it became a modern design mantra. To truly understand Song Dynasty aesthetics, we must first understand the philosophy that underpins it, the 12 living aesthetics. The Song Dynasty distilled its aesthetic philosophy into 12 characters that capture the essence of Song beauty. So for example, you can see the first character, Ya. It means elegance in English. Indeed, many of these concepts don't have a direct, one-to-one translation in English. They carry layers of cultural and philosophical meaning that can't be fully captured in a single word. But I hope the visuals help bring them to life. Together, these 12 principles form a complete philosophy of living, one that valued quiet refinement over loud display and mindful presence over material excess. Let's see how these philosophies were actually practiced in daily life. Song Dynasty life was defined by the 4 elegant arts. These were the refined pursuit of scholars and elites: incense burning, tea brewing, hanging scrolls, flower arranging. These were not just hobbies in the casual sense, they were daily rituals of mindfulness, ways of bringing harmony, beauty, and self-cultivation into every moment. The goal was to achieve a state of finding elegance and refinement in the ordinary. If you are interested in experiencing these 4 elegant arts for yourself, I would highly recommend making a trip to Hangzhou, the cultural heart of the Song Dynasty. I actually covered this in my previous travel vlog to Hangzhou, so do check that out if you would like to see this tradition spot to life today. Now let's meet the man who championed these ideas, Emperor Song Huizong. He ruled from 1100 to 1126 AD and was by all accounts a brilliant artist who was delayed by his duties as emperor. He was a painter, calligrapher, poet, and tea expert. He created the famous slender gold, 瘦金体 calligraphy style, and he established the Imperial Painting Academy, where he personally mentored young artists. He was also a devoted tea enthusiast and Taoist believer who saw art as a path to spiritual cultivation. His reign ended in tragedy when the Huizong invaded and captured him in 1127 AD, but his aesthetic vision, restrained, mindful, and quietly beautiful lives on. Huizong's influence extends far beyond his own work. He personally mentored a young prodigy named Huan Shiman. At just 18 years old, Huan created his masterpiece, 8,000 Li of Rivers and Mountains, a breathtaking blue-green landscape, nearly 12 meters long. Song Huizong was so impressed, he gave it to his chancellor. Huan died shortly after at just 23, leaving behind only this single scroll, a legend in Chinese art history. The original 8,000 Li of Rivers and Mountains is kept at the Forbidden City in Beijing, but is widely shown due to its fragile condition. It's been exhibited only a few times in the last century. Huizong also wrote the only tea treatise ever offered by a Chinese emperor, The Great Wheel of Tea, covered everything from tea production to the art of whisking powdered tea. To truly understand Huizong's idea of slow living, we can look at his painting, Listening to the Qin. At the center, we see Huizong presenting himself not as an emperor, but as a Taoist priest, calmly playing the qin, gu qin. Two officials listen intently, one in green, one in red. A young servant boy observes. Behind them, a large pine tree forms a canopy. Bamboo sways gently. Incense smoke curls from a small table. A rock sits next to a tripod holding flowers. Every element in this painting speaks of quiet refinement. Pine, bamboo, incense, music, and contemplation. This was Huizong's ideal, a life of mindfulness, art, and tranquility. At the top, we see a poem written by his chancellor, Cai Jing, and in Huizong's own slender gold calligraphy with his imperial seal. This painting is a window into the soul of Song Dynasty aesthetics. Song Huizong valued most was stone. It was the universe itself, especially Taihu stone, with its twisted, perforated, and weathered forms. To him, this stone captured the essence of nature, mountains, rivers, and the cosmos, all in a single object. Each stone was a miniature universe, a landscape to contemplate, a mountain to meditate upon. In his Genyue Garden, these stones became his living landscape, his greatest masterpiece. This is also a typical stone that we often see in traditional Chinese painting scopes, because in Chinese painting, to paint a landscape is to paint the universe itself. Now let's see Song Dynasty aesthetics brought to life on screen. Serenade of Peaceful Joy, Qing Ping Le, is a 2020 Chinese historical drama set during the reign of Emperor Song Wenzhong. It's well known for its museum-quality accuracy. Costumes recreated from Song imperial portraits, furniture inspired by Song paintings, and the four elegant arts woven into every episode. The production team spent years studying song texts and artworks to bring the dynasty aesthetics to life. The result? A visual textbook of song elegance. Another drama that beautifully captures song aesthetic is A Dream of Splendor. While Serenade of Peaceful Joy focuses on the imperial court, A Dream of Splendor brings the everyday life of the Song Dynasty to the forefront. Tea houses, bustling streets, and the full elegant arts practiced by ordinary people. The show sparked a real-world trend in new Chinese-style fashion and interiors, proving that Song aesthetics still resonate with modern audiences. Song aesthetics aren't just confined to history or television. They are actively shaping modern interior design in China today. Designers are drawing from Song principles: clean lines, natural materials, muted earth tones, and a sense of tranquility. The philosophy of less is more translates perfectly into contemporary space that feel both timeless and modern. From luxury homes to boutique hotels, Song-inspired interiors are everywhere. Key elements include dark wood furniture with clean, minimalist silhouettes, wise white walls and celadon accents, scholar's rods and ink wash paintings as decorative focal points, open, airy space that invite natural light, is a design language that feels both deeply Chinese and universally modern. Now let's talk about color, one of the most distinctive elements of Song aesthetics. The Song palette was restraint and nature-inspired. Earth tones dominated: warm browns, soft beiges, and muted ochres. These colors reflect the Song philosophy of finding beauty in the ordinary and connecting with the natural world. Perhaps the most famous Song color is the pale blue-green of Yu Red, 雨过天晴, the color of the sky after rain. Emperor Song Huizong dreamed of this color and demanded his portraits recreate it. The result is one of the most treasured ceramics in Chinese history, a color that captures the ethereal beauty of nature itself. While the Song palette was generally restrained, there were notable exceptions. Vermilion and purple were reserved for the highest ranking officials. People for the third rank and above, vermilion for the fifth rank and above. These colors add warmth and nobility to an otherwise muted palette, symbolizing power and prestige in the imperial court. Of course, there are many more colors in the Song palette, but for this presentation, I've chosen these three as representative examples of the dynasty's distinctive approach to color. Finally, let's do a quick visual comparison. The Tang Dynasty, bold, vibrant, and colorful. Gold, red, turquoise, a palette that shouted opulence. The Song Dynasty, subtle, muted, and restrained. Celadon, ink, earth tones, a palette that whispered elegance. Two dynasties, two moods, one beautiful legacy. And this contrast is exactly why I chose to start this series with the Song Dynasty. Its quiet refinement feels remarkably modern, even 1,000 years later. Now let's talk about the Song brocade, one of the most luxurious textiles in Chinese history. Song brocade originated in the Song Dynasty and was prized for its intricate patterns and refined craftsmanship. The most iconic motif is the 8-direction halo pattern, a geometric design that radiates in all directions, symbolizing harmony. Today, this ancient craft is being reimagined through AI-generated patterns that draw inspiration from Song aesthetics. By blending traditional motifs with modern technology, we are seeing new interpretations that honor the past while embracing the future. These AI-generated illustrations show how Song brocade patterns can be adapted for contemporary fashion, interiors, and digital design, proving that a 1,000-year-old craft can still feel fresh and relevant. Speaking of heritage crafts meeting modern life, Starbucks opened its 5th Intangible Cultural Heritage concept store in China. Right on Hangzhou's historic Hefanjie. The store celebrates Hanluo, a silk weaving technique that dates back to the Song Dynasty. The space blends coffee culture with heritage craftsmanship, featuring Hanluo art installations, handlooms on display, and heritage-themed drinks. It's a beautiful example of how an international brand can honor local traditions while creating a space that feels contemporary and inviting. Another wonderful example is Tan Shuo, a Chinese dessert brand whose interiors are directly inspired by Song Dynasty aesthetics. The designers draw from the painting Listening to the Qing, using dark wood, jade, and muted tones to evoke that quiet, scholarly atmosphere. Even the dessert display cases are shaped like garden lattice windows, a direct nod to Song garden architecture. It's a living example of how this 1,000-year-old aesthetic continues to inspire modern commercial spaces. No discussion of Song aesthetics in modern architecture would be complete without mentioning the Suzhou Museum, designed by the legendary architect Bei Jingmin. Completed in 2006, when Bei was 89 years old, this building is often called his beloved youngest daughter. It follows the philosophy of Chinese and New, Suzhou and New, blending modern geometric forms with the quiet elegance of traditional Suzhou gardens. The white walls, grey roofs, and the famous ink painting rock garden are a direct continuation of the Song aesthetic we've been exploring throughout this presentation. Now, let's look at furniture, especially chairs. Many people associate these classic Chinese chair designs with the Ming Dynasty, and that's understandable. The Ming period is often called the Golden Age of Chinese furniture, but the truth is, most of these forms actually originated in the Song Dynasty. The rose chair, the official head chair, the folding chair. These Song-era designs were later refined during the Ming Dynasty, but their DNA, the clean lines, the elegant proportions, the emphasis on natural materials was firmly established in the Song period. And as we have seen, these designs continue to inspire contemporary furniture makers around the world. And finally, a contemporary example of Song aesthetics in an unexpected place: automotive design. BYD's Song Ultra takes its color palette directly from China's natural landscapes, echoing the Song philosophy of finding beauty in nature. 6 colors reflect the mountains and rivers. Each color tells a landscape story. And that brings us to the end of our journey through Song Dynasty aesthetics. I hope you have enjoyed this visual journey and gained a new appreciation for why the Song Dynasty truly deserves the title, the original minimalist. If you enjoyed this, stay tuned. I may explore the Tang, Ming, and Qing dynasty in future episodes. Thank you very much for watching.